it's pretty, well, parking wasn't easy, let's say. And it's pretty well attended. I'm not quite there yet, but it's expected to be peaceful. There's bands, there's people talking. Everybody's pretty chill here. And I'm going to show you a couple things about Lexington along the way. And let's see what's going on in this really historic city. I was told I was supposed to wear yellow, but I don't have any yellow. So it's pink for me today because A, I like pink, and B, I wanted to be bright. So I'm going to turn the thing around. I am walking toward the battle green. You can see the Minuteman statue, which I will come close to in a second. But first, I'm going to show you the kind of things that happen in Lexington. Here, is the kind of thing that happens in Lexington, Massachusetts. And right now I am walking toward the tavern where John Hancock and Dr. Samuel Prescott and Sam Adams waited for Paul Revere on the night when the British regulars were coming. So I'm just going to show that to you right now. It's now a visitor center, believe it or not. But here's the slow pan. Oh, and the colonial flag. So here we have the historic town. We see the sign. Oh, it may be backwards. Buckman Tavern. So there. Oh my goodness! Now I'm finally seeing the battle green, and it is packed. Oh my goodness! First, though, I want to show you the Minuteman statue, and all the people lining the streets. So we got police here, but they're like directing traffic. And I am trying to cross the street. All right. You're off the street. So even the police are pretty polite here. And they're not, acting against anybody. You'll see a lot of no king signs, no tyranny signs, because there's an organization here in Lexington, which is called Lexington Alarm, which is the same or a revived organization that was here in the time of hey Leanne. So I'm coming around to show you the no king sign. No kings, no tyranny, because we reactivated the same kind of organization that we had when the British were coming. Here is the Minuteman statue. Can we see it? Ooh. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So that's here all the time. And that's the ode to the Minuteman. I cannot. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. Who came out to the green when the British were coming. So now I'm going to walk to the battle green. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see just how many people there are. Here we got another no king sign. Let me show you the historic signs where I don't even know if you can see this. Birthplace of American liberty. And this is where people come to be tourists. And so we have a lot of signs. I'm just going to turn around and show you. I am coming to one of the tables where they have signs and flags and pins. And I'm walking toward wherever people are talking. It's not clear where that is. Lots of little doggies. And we got our first costume. Here's the back. Let's go see what. Oh, we got froggy ears. That's right there. Big applause. I have absolutely no idea who's talking, but I'm going to let you walk as I walk toward the stage. We have no kings. Trump is a felon. Long live democracy. Make America free again. Oh, we've got another costume to be here today because this yes, do it like my mom. My daughter. Yeah. All right, so I'm continuing to walk through the crowd. I don't know how long I can keep you, but women, here we go. Girls who went before us. Woo! You can meet some of them today in the historic new monument we unveiled 1 year ago, right outside the visitor center. It is the nation's first monument to recognize women's liberty. Sculptor Meredith Bergman brought more than 20 women across time. Right? Into life. All right, guys. So you can totally see 100 years of history, including everybody listening. 12,000 years of women's stories for the women that were indigenous and immigrants and displaced colonizers. It's an incredible another America Lost King. And I'm trying to find women briefly because those women like us stood to see where they're speaking in any way they could. They got off their proverbial couch, or if they couldn't, they found another way. Margaret Tulip was a Black woman who lived here for 70 years. So in the 1700s, she was taken from her mother when she was 3 weeks old and enslaved. See? She was property. She ultimately came to Lexington through the family that enslaved her. She was to be free at age 22. We don't know exactly what happened. She eventually was married. She had children. She had grandchildren. But one day, the man who enslaved her died, and his son claimed Margaret was her property. She was my age, in her 50s. She took him to court, and she won her freedom in a jury trial. For her, the question of liberty was personal, as it is for many of us, especially women today. Anna Harrington, represented here today by Amy, Anna Harrington organized the first known Lexington protest against tyranny in 1769, more than 5 years before the famous battle that took place where you're all standing. Anna Harrington was 29 years old, the mother of 5 children. One had already died. She hosted 45, quote, ladies at her home to protest unjust tariffs and the tyranny of a king. Does that sound familiar? Wow. At this time, women couldn't vote. They couldn't serve in the military. They couldn't be clergy members. But they found a way to protest and change the course of our lives. Ruth Buckman helped run the tavern there. She took care of men who were injured or died on the green. Abigail Harrington, on the morning of April 19th, woke up her son Jonathan when she heard the alarm. She said, Jonathan, the regulars are out and something must be done. She protected their home, their valuables, their children, much as other women in the community protected the church silver, the valuables, those who were sick or infirm and couldn't hide. Abigail's son, Jonathan, served right here as a teenager. He lived longer than any other man on the green that day. He was asked over and over to tell his story about how he made history. His. And he always started it with his mother, Abigail, who he called a true patriot. These stories were known in Lexington for hundreds of years. In fact, this banner in front of me being held
by Katie, who's playing Caroline Wellington today. Caroline Wellington had 3 men in her family fight on the green, 2 grandfathers and a great-grandfather. Caroline, from 1850 until she died in 1912, worked on 2 causes: ending slavery, getting women the right to vote. In 1850, again, women couldn't vote. She used the power of petition, as documented in Mary Keenan's book. Was she successful in getting women the right to vote in 1850? No. In 1887, she made this banner. Hold it up, Katie. Turn it around. On the bottom of the banner, she has Abigail Harrington's revolutionary words: "Something must be done." This banner went to Boston in 1887. Did women earn the right to vote? No. In 1912, a younger woman carried the banner to Washington, D.C. in the first Women's March on Washington. In 1912, Abigail's words went from where you're standing to the seat of government. And were we successful yet? No. Sadly, Caroline died before the 20th Amendment was passed. The monument includes these women's stories and so many more. And these are the stories that tell about our country, about our history, about what the fight for democracy really looked like. Mothers fought, passed it on to their daughters or their granddaughters. They didn't necessarily live to see that success. And we may not see the reparations necessary for what Trump is totally destroying in our country. We may die first, but we have to fight. These women fought for us, and we must fight for the children here today, for those who are not here at all yet. And we will. This erasure has led us to a country where women continue to earn less than men for equal work, where a president thinks it's okay to harass, grab, insult, and degrade women. Comedian Rosie O'Donnell left the country to escape his persecution. She's not a wimpy woman, but she had enough. His cronies are openly discussing taking away our right to vote. That's why I sound angry today. Literally, they think it's okay to talk about that out loud, like their text groups talking about horrible racism, anti-Semitism out loud. They're not ashamed of how they are behaving. Unelected men scolded military men. I have people in my family of all genders who've served in the military. They sat there and scolded them. These men never served. The president never served. And they want to kick women out and people of color, and they're being successful at it. Worse, the Supreme Court has denied our constitutional and human rights to bodily autonomy by saying that it's okay for some states to deny us health care, including abortion, and now they want to take away contraception. Even as they are openly forcing women to have children, to become mothers, a lifetime commitment, they are forcing that. That is sexual slavery. While they are doing that, they are taking away every week another resource from our money that helps support children and the women who don't have resources to take care of them. They've taken away food subsidies, special education, public education, healthcare. If you have a child and there's nowhere for your child to be during the day, you can't go to work. You can't earn money. You can't get food to feed your children. There are now plenty of states in this country where it is simply not safe to be a woman or to have children. Women are not at liberty in America. And I am wrapped in the flag today, and I see lots of beautiful flags. It's our country. We decide what happens next. Thank you.
All right. So you see,
Thank you, Jesse.
I don't know how many people
Uh,
I
We are
lost when
honored,
that was
very
happening,
honored
but
to have our
I'm
next
gonna
speaker, Lexington,
go around the perimeter.
laureate of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
Oh wow,
Greg Gibson.
you have a poet laureate here. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Good morning.
I'll let you listen. How many of you are here?
My full name is Reggie.
Wow, 45.
I've taken my wife's
Okay.
last name.
So, all right. I don't know if you can hear him. Check out that. Check it.
I want to take it a sing thing.
I'm going to go back to being able to see the speaker.
Convening to promote the common. But the word commonwealth is only a word, and words do not have meaning. This is the secret that we teachers of language understand. Words do not have meaning. Words are grunts. They are sounds, expectorations of air that we shape through tone and pitch. Words have no meaning. What gives them meaning is when they are embodied, when they are instantiated, when they are manifested and were manifested through action.
Yeah.
And this is an important distinction because we are a constitutional republic, a community held together by a document made of words. Words, and if those words are to have meaning, it is up to us to create it.
Yes.
I think often about what led us here. It's easy to blame MAGA. Washington, they certainly deserve our share of vitriol that we can give them. But truth is, there's another truth to that. We got here one racist grandmother at a time. We got here one homophobic grandfather at a time. We got here one sexist brother at a time. One transphobic sister at a time. One slur we let pass at the dinner table at a time. One to hell with you, it's about my 401k at a time. One turned back on another's humanity at a time. One hatred, one disregard, one shut mouth when we should have shouted, "You will not speak death into my republic." At a time. Make no mistake about it. Every one of our sacred words that we did not give action to has brought us to this. But as Senator Markey reminded us, when we gave the word freedom meaning, men and women fought here and a country was born. When we gave the word freedom, meaning women became liberated, it happened. When we gave the word freedom, meaning legal segregation of schools happened. When we gave the word freedom, meaning civil rights happened, gay rights happened, trans rights happened. And even though this is the first state to institutionalize slavery, was also the first to get rid of it because we gave the word freedom. It's always been this way. It's always been this fight, whether our forces were going to rally in the right direction of history or away from the right direction. Whether we were going to walk that razor-thin line between our lower animalistic nature and our more higher transcendent selves. And we've always had to make that choice. Our future depends on this. So when they speak of our time, let them say, what will they say? They will say this was a time when truth abandoned our words, that it was when pestilence and plague were a president's mouth. They will say this is when the internet wedded fact to fiction and disinformation became mainstream and scripture.
Yeah.
They will say this was when we hamster wheeled inside the jagged jaws of civic death that hovered above us, licking murderously its lips. They will say that this was when civility was assassinated on the steps of our nation's capital and multitudinous monstrosities masqueraded as law. They will say, when they speak of our time, they will say that it was when morality drank gluttonously of hatred's hemlock, that we mocked as democracy cowered to executive power. They will say a horrible darkness kissed our ears, kissed us until we closed our eyes and trembled with fear until we became the very darkness we feared. They will say that this was the time of God on our side, of God is our guide, as crosses turned into gun after gun after gun after gun behind pews of prayerful eyes, and both red and blue forgot that their God was colorblind. They will say that this was the hour of the food-shrunken belly and of refugee and of those turned away in the time of their human need as the justly imprisoned enemies of the state walked free through prison gates. They will say it was when English, spoken with the wrong accent, meant an uncertain fate. They will say this was the time of the bullet bite, the misogynist blight, the applauded abuse, the anti-truth, the anti-learning. They will say this was when we set the world on the brim, burning. But also let them say that this was a time we fought against a civic genocide. That something transcendently human in us stood up to resist the Orwellian jackboot. And finally, in the raspy baritone of Ray Charles, we heard what our country could be. That in the wise words of Walt Whitman, we rose to the challenge and the charge of true democracy. That in the aspic bite of Mark Twain's wit, we finally got the punchline, finally realized that manifest destiny would no longer patch the human-sized hole in our history. Let them say that this is when we said yes again and again and again and again to the verses of Emma Lazarus' new Colossus, resounding with, "Give me your time, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to break free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shores, send you the thieves, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me." Let them say, yes. Let them say that this is when we said yes again and again and again and again to the verses of Pablo Neruda, resounding with peace for the coming twilights, peace for the bridge, peace for the wine, peace for the letters that seek us and rise in our blood, peace for the city in the morning when the bread rises, peace for the ashes of our fallen, peace for all living, peace for all waters and land. Let them say that this is when we fought. How? We've been conditioned. Let them say this is when the woman stepped forward declaring, "I am that I am," and we men began to break ourselves of the need to break women. Let them say that this was when our better angels spoke and we learned to lean in and listen. That this was the time we struggled against fist and fallacy and of judges refusing to kangaroo their courts and show that in America the law is king. And say that this is when our youth saw us here, found truth and hope fluttering madly on their tongues like a caged feathered thing. And because of us, they were unafraid to open their mouths and let it stretch its wings and sing. Let them say that we were a people of a humanistic faith in a time when faith in humanity was foolish. Let them say that we were a people of an infinite hope when it made no sense to hope at all. That we still believed that love could be as simple as the images our ancestors painted on caves, images birthed from our first human songs, songs of water and flower, the sun, moon, and star, and wind and rain and river and fire, and that even as all shook beneath our shoes, you knew that you were part of me, and I was part of you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. That we are all parts of all. Right. Let them say that this was a time we desperately reached through this malignant maelstrom of electronic chaos. Reached through the mad and maddening invocations of the soulless who profit from the poisonous pathology of our time. Reached through and found others here with our own eyes, with our own hands, reaching back.
That, my friends, is what happens in Lexington, Massachusetts. I haven't seen any of your comments. I don't even know if you can hear me. But I hope you heard that, and I will see you all later.